This episode is brought to you by JLL. Get an insider view into the world of commercial real estate with JLL's podcast, Trends and Insights, the Future of Commercial Real Estate. Whether you're curious about making cities more sustainable, the evolution of office space, or AI opportunities, this podcast will help keep you a step ahead. Tune in for candid conversations with business leaders about the biggest trends impacting how we live, work, and play. Subscribe to Trends and Insights now at jll.com/podcast.
This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 2637. Are those golden handcuffs on too tight? By Helene Massicotte of FreeToPursue.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. Now let's get right to today's post and start optimizing your life. Are those golden handcuffs on too tight? By Helene Massicotte of FreeToPursue.com. You are an economic unit. You know your job is to maximize the resources you have at your disposal to lead the best life you can lead. And you're doing exactly that. You have a good job with a good company, and you only have 10 more years before you get to retire at age 55 with a good company pension. Sounds pretty great, right? Tons of people would envy your position. You're set. So what's the problem? There's absolutely no problem working for a company for many years. There are many jobs that we love to do day in and day out. We get up, feel good about going to work, and feel satisfied with a job well done at the end of the day. If that's your reality, lucky you. If you have all that and you have a great pension coming to you when you decide to hang up the uniform at the end of your career, even better. Chances are that's not the case. If it were, nearly 70% of employees in the US and even more worldwide would not say they don't feel engaged at work. If so many people are unhappy, why are they not doing anything about it? For some folks at least, the root cause is golden handcuffs. The power of the golden handcuffs. When I was considering leaving my former employer, the fact that I was leaving behind a hefty defined benefits pension was not lost on me. In fact, it weighed heavily on me, despite how miserable I was, and despite the fact that I didn't really need it to ensure a secure financial future. But I still wanted it. I'd only worked with this organization for a dozen years or so, and still had 17 years to go before reaching full benefits, and it weighed on me. In a way, what made the decision easier was knowing that every additional year of work would only make the golden handcuffs tighter. Getting them off. If you're having trouble breaking free from your own version of golden handcuffs, here are my 5 suggestions to help you break away or overcome loss aversion or FOMO. They worked for me, so maybe they can work for you too. Number 1. Work towards financial independence now. Pay off your debts, yes, including your mortgage, and pay yourself first by putting money aside from every paycheck. 10% is the absolute minimum, and more is better. The more money you have accumulated, the easier this decision can be on you and those who depend on your income. Number 2. If you're lucky enough to work for an organization that offers a pension plan, always assume it will not be there for you in the future and save accordingly. See point number 1. Planning your life around the fact that you'll have access to a secure source of income is risky. There's no guarantee that your employer will be around in 10, 20, 30 or more years, that you won't be fired or laid off, or that the laws protecting your future earnings won't change. When in doubt, ask an Enron or BHS employee how they feel about their pension plan. Number 3, don't focus on what you're losing, especially when it's not real yet. Nothing is guaranteed, and you can definitely be shortchanging yourself by believing in a fictitious upside. We're hardwired to think of what we're losing and not of what might be in store for us by seeking out the unknown. Better yet, you might be surprised by the amount of funds that get turned over to you when you decide to take your vested pension payout, where applicable, and the options you have available to help you manage the accumulated sum. Number 4, think about how much you'd be willing to give up to be free. I'm not kidding when I say this. How much is the happiness and relief associated with leaving drudgery worth to you? Think about that number and make it real. You might surprise yourself. Sometimes the personal price tag attached to staying is way too much to pay, yet our focus keeps getting drawn to what we might be giving up. We are strange creatures, aren't we? And number 5, start exploring other ways to add value in your life. Feed your need to produce something outside your current career path. Take a course, start a side business, take a part-time job. Expand your horizons. Make your current occupation less important in the overall picture of how you define yourself. These efforts can help you feed your desire to leave just enough to tip the scales. The bottom line is that if the only reason you can think of to stay with your current employer is monetary, and your work life is an important way in which you define yourself, it's time to take a hard look at your situation. Life is too short to spend 40+% of your waking hours working in an environment you merely tolerate because of an expectation of future financial benefit. Security and certainty, when provided or promised by others, are an illusion, albeit a comfy one. You just listened to the post titled, "Are Those Golden Handcuffs On Too Tight?" by Helene Massicotte of FreeToPursue.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. Have you been using Mint to manage your finances? First, the bad news. Mint is shutting down. And now, good news. There's a better alternative. Our sponsor, Monarch Money. Mint users are turning to Monarch Money and loving it. Maybe you're saving for a down payment, a wedding, a dream vacation, your kids' college. I've found that Monarch makes it so easy to help you reach your financial goals, whatever they are. I definitely wouldn't be able to allocate my finances or plan as clearly without the help from Monarch. In fact, Monarch is the top-rated all-in-one personal finance app. It gives you a comprehensive view of all of your accounts, investments, transactions, and more. Create custom budgets, set goals, and collaborate with your partner. And now get an extended 30-day free trial when you go to monarchmoney.com/OFD. After trying out Monarch for myself, I understand why it's the top-rated personal finance app. And right now, get an extended 30-day free trial when you go to monarchmoney.com/OFD. That's monarchmoney.com/OFD for your extended 30-day free trial. When it comes to decisions around money, fear and greed tend to run the show. This is why when many of us reach a financial goal, we simply move the goalpost rather than allowing ourselves to arrive. We get scared. Maybe our financial planning wasn't good enough, or our assumptions aren't sound. Or we get greedy. Sure, I have enough money, but isn't it better to have more? At a certain point in our financial journey, our risk flips from running out of money to running out of time. And while we may understand that intellectually, emotionally, we still believe that we need more money to feel safe. My friend Frank Vasquez over at Risk Parity Radio says that once you win the game of money, there's little utility in continuing to play. 3 years into retirement, I feel like I'm just starting to relax into the fact that I don't need to worry about money anymore. When I quit my job, I claimed victory over the game of money, and then I stopped playing it, begrudgingly at first. I experienced over $100,000 loss in income each year, and yet now I feel rich AF. Due to the magic of compound interest, my net worth has continued to increase. My money will always be able to work harder than I can. So why did I resist letting it do just that for so long? If you'd like to hear more about how I've been able to relax when it comes to my income, check out my latest interview on the Mindy on Money podcast titled Diana Merriam and Mindset, From Scarcity to Abundance. But that should do it for another edition of Optimal Finance Daily. I'll be back tomorrow as usual, so I'll see you there on the Wednesday show where your optimal life awaits.